Let's go.
Okay, come back to your spot,
really good.
sir.
Everything's great.
We are here to talk about codesign.
Sure are.
Who founded this with you?
So it was actually a collaborative project between the two founders of Nine Lives Design, as well as a gentleman by the name of Serge Gingras from, he's actually an independent web developer now. But the four of us met a little while back because collaboratively, we sort of realized that there was a bit of a youth out migration happening within the tech and design field in North Bay. It's not a huge community to begin with, and we started realizing that we're losing a lot of really skilled talent coming out of Canada or Nipissing. So we wanted to create a bit of a community here that was really focused on sharing certain information, certain techniques, even just the passion towards the field. And again, because our population's not very big, we couldn't really effectively support just a tech meetup group and just a design meetup group. So we wanted to put them together. And we've been seeing a lot of success. Not last year, but the year before, we ended up having 3 or 4 different meetups. We'd have a couple local guest speakers present. Our approach is a little bit different as well. So we don't actually mention who the speakers are in advance intentionally because we want to encourage individuals to come regardless of whether or not they felt they could learn anything. But every time we end up getting some pretty positive feedback. So I think the approach works. So thankfully, we've had the ongoing support of organizations like Nine Lives Design, who's sponsoring our next event, as well as the Raven and Republic upstairs. So they have a beautiful venue that they've lent to us now a couple times to host our event. Same with 176 Co-working here. This is where the last event took place in partnership with Creative Industries, who funded that, who was just recently on your show, if I'm not.
Jamie
So it's been great. What's really neat about it, though, is that from an economic development standpoint, we're really trying to focus on bringing the average skill level of the creative agencies in North Bay up a little bit by sharing best practices. So that's a huge piece. So preventing youth out migration, trying to encourage the development of skilled talent in North Bay, even those that have been experts in the field for X number of years. It's kind of a multifaceted approach to something where we're just trying to get the right people in the room and share some good ideas.
Do you see something happening in North Bay around the culture? Is there a shift happening? Is there progress being made? Are we falling behind? Are we getting ahead? What do you see? Let's be real honest for a second. What do you see? Yeah.
So I did belong to the marketing and advertising industry in North Bay for a certain number of years. And there seems to have been, now that I'm no longer in the industry, I can share that there seems to be a lot of kind of negative relationships that have been fostered over the course of the last period of time. So that was actually one of the reasons why we wanted to try to get a variety of different individuals in the room, because we're trying to break down those old kind of stagnant relationships that were non-collaborative and then build something as a city together, which obviously sounds super pie in the sky and all wonderful. But the reality is, if everyone understood what each other's strengths were, there's certain projects that we could bid on outside of the city, leveraging each other's talents in certain areas, kind of like this space right here and how beautiful it is. And that's what really we're trying to go for. So next time you want to bid on a project, instead of it just being in North Bay, the culture should be, well, let's look outside of North Bay or the North's market and try to take advantage of opportunities that we couldn't before by leveraging the talent and resources that exist here with each other. So
yeah, that's really amazing. And I know from my experience, I'm working with other marketing companies, and you're right, it hasn't been the norm, but I'll tell you what really helps: a victory.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Having a win and winning a contract, and then not just talking theoretically about what we could do together, but actually working on something together. It just takes a little bit of leadership to say, hey, we're going to try to do this together.
Yeah.
Right? And so I guess that's what I want to congratulate you and the co-founders, the other co-founders on with this, because it does take a little leadership, you know, to get it going. And you're probably not getting paid tons of money to do it.
No, it's a passion project of all of ours.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I'm really proud of about codesign is the fact that we do make a concerted effort to ensure that we're paying all of our speakers.
Yeah.
Because again, there's kind of this systemic problem with believing that if you have a designer working on a project and you believe that exposure is enough to pay his bills or her bills, that's just simply not the case. Mm-hmm. So in order to actually get this group off the ground, we need to ensure we were paying everyone that was involved. Yeah. So we actually donate all the proceeds proceeds from any of the sponsorship that we get back into the group. So we don't collect anything from it. It's an entire volunteer-run organization or ad hoc group. So that's a part of it. In terms of leadership, I'd have to, again, turn to people like Jade and Dave Nyber from Nine Lives, Serge himself, a couple of our previous speakers like Ray Brand, Design. He had a phenomenal presentation last time when we did it here. And in the past as well, we've had great speakers that, again, just kind of believe in the nature of what we're trying to accomplish here. And we've worked with Canadore College in bringing some of their best talent into co-design as well to some of our events. Because, again, if we can encourage the best talent coming out of the post-secondary here, then the industry just keeps getting better.
I love what this group is doing. It's amazing. I'm happy you're able to come and talk to us.
Thank you for having me.
If anybody's watching here and they kind of haven't gotten the invite, or can they see this if they don't get the invite? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's a great question.
So how does that work?
So previously it was by invite only, and the reason why is because we were trying to, again, ensure that the right talent was in the room. And that's not to exclude anyone. We ended up having kind of a collaborative approach to that as well. People had worked with people in different areas, different sectors that they believed were collaborators in nature. The event is growing, so the size of the group is growing. We're starting to encourage the participation of people in the general comms industry. Again, because there's a lot of opportunity for knowledge sharing resources and things like that. So the next event that we have, which is February 27th, the Raven and Republic at 7 p.m. The RSVP page will be released eventually. It's not currently live, so I'm not going to mention it here right now, but when this video is produced, hopefully we'll have a chance to include that.
Great.
Yeah.
Is there anything else anybody should know about this?
I mean, I'm here right now as part of this project, and this is a collaborative video that's taking place. We have a whole bunch of collaborators in this room that are making this happen. So I think this just goes to show the effectiveness of what we're trying to stand for. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, you as well. Thank you.
Bye.
It's the web.